Welcome back to The American Rancher. Building upon their father's successful foundation, 8 brothers operate Schiefelbein Farms in Kimball, Minnesota, an operation that has earned a strong reputation for quality, high-yielding genetics that earn money for ranchers across the country.
I had this vision of doing this breeding stock, all scientific. So then I talked to a neighbor across the lake, and he was a roustabout, and he'd rough and tumble life. He spent most of his life out in South Dakota working for cattle people. And he said, I tell you what, Frank, you get Angus cattle and you get the biggest ones you can find. And then I had majored in mathematics and science at college. I knew that if I was going to have a good product, it had to be good every time, and it had to be the same size. So if I'm going to start out getting these cattle all to look the same, I got to buy all my cattle from the same guy and have them all related. So I went down to who I thought had the best herd, and at the time it was M.L. Snyder at Medelia. And so I bought his calf crop 2 years in a row, then I closed the herd. And all our cattle but one go back to one cow that I bought then.
And we've raised purebred Angus since 1955, and we added Sim Angus into the herd about 15 years ago. The Sim Angus helped complement the Angus to produce a feeder calf that will gain quicker and you can get at a larger weight.
Our genetics are everything for our customers, and we really take a lot of pride in having the type of genetics that we think will make them money. That is our main model, is can we make our customers money?
At Schiefelbein Farms, we breed about 1,200 registered females, producing about 500 bulls annually. These bulls get sold to commercial cattlemen and registered cattlemen across the country. And those guys buy the bulls, create feeder cattle, and then we help work with them to take those feeder cattle and get the most possible dollars we can for the customer. One thing about Minnesota, it's a great state to live, but it does have every weather climate possible. It goes from very hot, humid days in the summer to bitterly cold weather in the winter.
Winters here can be as brutal as any with our cold temperatures and the snowfall, but we winter our cows right out in the corn stalks, and we think that's a really important thing to have in a herd, is, you know, that durability.
Our bulls get sold into 15 states roughly each year, from the deserts of Arizona to the western mountains of Montana to the bayou in Louisiana. So these cattle have to work from north to south to east to west. One thing about our program when we started selling bulls from the get-go, it was never going to be a program where we sell you a bull and see you next year. It's a program where when we sell the bull, we work with our customers throughout the entire year. And we've grown really tight with all of our customers. So our customers use me to get marketing advice, whether it be on cull cows or cull bulls or on their feeder calf crop. What's the best thing to do for them to help their operations?
Frank is well known for his influence in the cattle industry. That, along with his son's college education strategy, inspires impressive innovations that help Schiefelbein Farms achieve success. And one of those innovations benefits the entire American beef industry.
When the Angus Association first started keeping records, I had over 10,000 records already on carcass data before they started, so we had to jump up on them. And I was big in grading because I had this system where I'd been working with IBP and all the big packers, where I was telling them that instead of buying all the cattle at the same price, they should vary the price according to how good they are.
Dad had every brother went to school to do one different area to bring back to the farm. And mine was in cattle marketing. And I was very fortunate enough to get a job with Montfort. I was the first one to come up with the value-based grids for Montfort of Colorado at a time where they were looking for a buying system that would reward producers or discount producers for the quality of cattle they produced. I was very adamant about it because we produced the genetics that were better. So for me to come up with a system and to make it work was huge because that fit right into our genetic programs. We're creating value from the start to the end. And it's a model where everybody wins. There's value for each segment within the industry. And when you can do that and pass that up and down the chain, the model works for a long period of time. I said, build the grid and the cattle will come. And the high quality cattle came. And one packer saw Montfort doing it, the other packers followed suit. So then the whole entire beef industry said, hey, we're now getting rewarded for higher quality products. And what has beef consumption done since the mid-90s when the value-based grid started? Beef consumption has gone straight up. If you're going to pay 3 times the amount for beef versus chicken, it better be good. But if it is good, they will come back again and again and again. There's no way we can produce it as cheap as pork or poultry. So we have to produce a high quality product as efficient as possible. And in order to do that, that's where genetic selection comes in. Because genetically, if we select cattle that calve easy, grow quick, and produce a high quality product, then we can compete with pork and poultry and have the best tasting product out there. There's 20 traits for every animal that we look at, and that animal has to meet those 20 traits.
The main ones you want to focus on are calving ease and birth weight, and then you want your good growth traits. But with us, with having our buyback program and feeding out our calves, we also focus pretty heavy on those carcass traits.
As far as the heifers go, we try to select a threshold for birth weight EPD under a 1.0, and we try to get the $B for that threshold above 120. And we do this for every trait, and we're not going for extremes, we're going for moderation for all these traits so we don't lose our particular trait that's important. All the animals have been genomically tested, and so that way we know the exact parentage for all the animals, as well as all their EPDs are genomically enhanced, thus that we have as much information as we possibly can get for each of these matings that we're going to do down the line. Every year, when we do our yearling heifers, we do a disposition score on them, and if they don't hit good disposition, they go automatically to our feedlot, because each animal goes through a 10 by 10 pen during the calving season, and we have lots of kids and grandkids running around from ages of 3 and up, and we want a good disposition animal, not to worry about the safety of the family, as well as it's something that genetically is thrown to their offspring, and thus our customers have good disposition cattle.
Coming up,
We know all the way from when we get the genetics all the way till it goes to the store, how it's working. And I think that's where we have the big advantage over other people that just sell genetics.
the Schiefelbein Farms buyback program is one more innovation that helps their customers make money. See how it works when the American Rancher returns. Stay with us.
Take control of current market conditions on Superior Livestock's weekly video auction. Register your lot load cattle by Tuesday, sell them on Thursday, putting you 2 days from money with the largest cattle marketing network in North America. Superior Livestock's weekly video auction has over 8,000 active and qualified buyers, and they're paying top dollar. Yep. Jump in. The bidding is hot. Call us or click superiorlivestock.com to learn more.
The Superior Country page is your 24/7 marketplace for buying and selling load-lock calves, feeders, breeding stock, and other cattle. Cattle ranchers like the Country page because it's easy to use, and they get the jump on current market conditions by putting cattle in front of buyers right now. Cattle are ready for sale in minutes, so buyers can start bidding. Call or log on today to find out how the Superior Country page can work for you.
Superior Livestock Auction now offers a monthly Holstein steer and dairy video auction. With the largest number of registered and active buyers in the nation, Superior Livestock Auction is your source for lightweight dairy-influenced calves. Sellers enjoy proven price discovery that pays top dollar. Buyers get access to high volume and steady supply. And everyone appreciates Superior's trusted experience in national livestock marketing. Go online at superiorlivestock.com to register and to find out more.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. Good planning, hard work, and innovation are the benchmarks of success at Schiefelbein Farms. Producing genetics that make money for their customers is the bottom line for the brothers. And from breeding decisions to putting cattle on the rail, they're able to bring those genetics full circle, which gives them profitable insight that benefits everyone.
The genetics have to work to build a cow herd for that customer. There's no getting around that. You have to create the best females possible for those ranchers wherever they may be. And then after that, the buyback program adds value to those feeder calves when our customers go to sell them. So when they have produced this calf, we're there to help market those calves, either with Superior or us buying them ourselves. And they go into our feedlot and other commercial feedlots across the country. And then those cattle are sold on a value-based grid to packers that want to have the highest quality product for their customers.
Making money for their customers is their #1 goal, and Schiefelbein Farms feeder calf buyback program has evolved to become a major contributor to that goal.
We decided to put up the slat barn, and this would generate extra revenue, and plus it would be a good thing to promote our cattle because we could bid on our customers' calves. So this was built about 10 years ago, and half of it, and then it was working pretty well, so we decided we'd double the size of the barn, so it'll hold about 2,000 head of calves. It gives us a lot of information when we're breeding cattle, what we need, how well they convert. We got records of all the feed each pen eats. We actually know what the genetics are in here from our cattle. So we know if their feet aren't good, they aren't going to last in the slat barn. It's all stuff that needs to be watched out in the ranches, but it also has to be in the feedlot. They have to be able to gain. Every animal gets a tag put in. When they go to market, we get the results of how they graded.
So we know all the way from when we get the genetics all the way till it goes to the store, how it's working. And I think that's where we have the big advantage over other people that just sell genetics.
Schiefelbein Farms offers an innovative incentive for their customers who sell their calves on Superior Livestock Auction.
My son Travis, who is back at the farm currently, is actually a video rep. We can put your cattle on the Superior video sale and have us be a bidder, as well as Superior's vast amount of buyers. And any commissions that Travis earns, that we earn from them selling their cattle, they get all those commissions back as bull credit.
Decades of industry knowledge, industry-leading innovation, and impressive marketing options drive profit for Schiefelbein customers, and good old-fashioned customer service ties it all together.
Customers of ours can expect to get the kind of cattle we want to see walking through pastures, and at weaning time get the weights. And with our programs to buy back calves and help market calves, we feel that our customer service is second to none.
Well, we have an annual sale every year in February where people come from all over.
We have a big feed where we feed prime rib, and then we have shrimp and all kinds of hors d'oeuvres and stuff.
We do this on Friday night.
On Friday night.
All the girls.
Yeah, all the daughter-in-laws make it. And then the dinner was just starting. This guy came in from Western Canada, and he said, I missed looking at the cattle. He said, I've been driving 16 hours, he said, from Western Saskatchewan. And then one of my grandsons said, well, I'll show you the cattle. He said, yeah, but you'll miss all the festivities and all the food. He said, that's fine. He said, I can get it. So he went out with them, and he turned all the lights on. He showed the guy all around. And everything. And then about 9 o'clock he came in, and they got everything they were cleaning up. You know, daughter-in-laws are cleaning everything up. And the guy said, "Geez, you missed everything." "That's okay." And the guy came over to me. He said, "That was the nicest guy I've ever met." He said he didn't try to push anything on me. He just explained everything. He missed his meal, the big festivities, everything. He said, "You know, I've got 2 partners that are neighbors of mine, and we're farmers." And he said, "We came with the idea of buying your top cattle. We were going to go to $50,000 on it." He said, "I'm calling my buddies and said, we're going to buy that bull no matter what, because that kid was so nice." They paid $125,000. So it pays to be nice.
To find out more about how Schiefelbein Farms can make money for your operation, log on to schiefelbeinfarms.com or send them an email, info@schiefelbeinfarms.com. That's all the time we have today. To find out more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minick. For our entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Superior.
Coming up.
When the Angus Association first started keeping records, I had over 10,000 records already on carcass data before they started, so we had to jump up on them.
For me to come up with a system and to make it work was huge. It's a model where everybody wins.
Learn how innovation created one of the top Angus seedstock producers in North America, next on The American Rancher. Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minick. Black Angus is one of the top breeds in the American beef industry, and Schiefelbein Farms in Kimball, Minnesota is one of the top Angus seedstock producers. Frank Schiefelbein Jr. and his wife Frosty started the ranch in the mid-1950s. From humble beginnings, good planning and strategic innovation molded Schiefelbein Farms into a highly successful operation with a solid reputation for helping their customers make money.
We met in high school,
Yeah.
and I went to a girls' school and he went to a boys' school. And that's kind of how we met.
Okay, but the way we actually first saw each other, she was at a party. I went to the party with my friend and I walked in the door and she was standing up against the big post in the middle of the room. And I bumped my buddy and said, "I can't believe it," but I said, "I'm going to marry that girl." And he said, "You're crazy." And I said, "I might be, but I said, I've got that feeling." Finally, one of the guys said, "Well, I think she came with your best friend, Bob." And so I went up to Bob. I said, "Bob, we got a problem." And Bob said, "We can't have a problem. You're my best friend." And I said, "Well, you're going with that girl over there, aren't you?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I just started about 10 days ago." And I said, "Well, I'm going to marry her, so that's a problem." And he said, "Frank, that's no problem at all." He said, "She's so damn frosty, I haven't got a kiss in 10 days, you take her." And to this day, most everybody knows her as Frosty, even down on her driver's license.
Yeah, that's a nickname.
And then we married right in when I got out of college. And right out of college, went in the Air Force for 2 years. And we got out of the Air Force and drove right straight out to the farm. The farm had that old farmhouse on it. Hadn't been anybody living in it for 3 years.
No water.
No water, no heat, no insulation, nothing. We came in there in January, And all that was in there, no rugs, there was a 5-gallon pail in the middle of the living room. That's the only thing in the house, and I was just ecstatic. I was looking all over. I was going upstairs to look at everything. All of a sudden, I heard this horrible moaning, and just soul-searching moaning. And I came downstairs, and here's Mama sitting there with her baby on this 5-gallon pail, crying her eyes out. And I said, "What is the matter with you?" She said, "I didn't think you meant it."
I thought, this is going to be her life. No, I wasn't ecstatic like he was. But I thought, but this is what I decided. I mean, what I signed up for, so this is what I'll have to do. But then we looked at that house. It had no possibilities to do anything because it was going to cost a fortune. So then I walked up, this was a hill, I walked up here and I said, this is where we're going to build our house. And I found this spot.
Yeah, this spot, yeah.
Frank and Frosty raised 9 sons on the farm, and all but one is active in the operation.
I think quite a ways ahead. It drives Mother nutty because she never knows. If I get a little idea, oh my God, it might turn into a monster. But I had this idea that we were going to have the best cattle in the world. And I knew that the universities, the PhDs from the university had a lot of say in what was the good cattle or not. And my fear was that I would have all these good ideas, and then some university PhD person would call up and write an article that knocked my idea down. So I thought, if I want to make sure I got the universities on my side, I'm going to send one of my boys to each of the different universities that are top in the cattle business in that year.
After college, each of the brothers took charge of one important part of the operation, ranging from breeding to calving to feedlot management and marketing.
Yeah, everybody's in charge of one thing or another, and they always have a backup in case they have to go. The second guy knows what's going on. I generally know a little bit about all of them, in case someone leaves, but they usually have the main guy in charge of, say, breeding. Then, Danny will be in charge of breeding. Frankie will be the backup guy. Donnie could do it too, even Timmy. But there's always a backup guy, and then there's someone that's me that kind of knows. I know Timmy's going to leave on this day to go buy calves, or Donnie's going to go to a meeting on this day, so I can kind of figure out who's doing what on day to day and who am I going to have for help and what kind of jobs we can actually get done.
Some of Frank and Frosty's grandchildren have also decided to make a career on the farm. Frank says the only requirement, other than the desire to do so, is that anyone in the family who wants to become active on the farm must leave for at least 1 year after graduating high school.
I preferred they go to school, but if they didn't want to, they don't have to.
But if they wanted to do something else, they could.
Yeah, I wanted it so that when they came back and they would know what the real world is like. They'd want to know that the boss really didn't give a crap about you. He wanted to work. And they come back, I wouldn't be that bad a guy then.
Yeah, not very many people have this kind of system.
And then one that just graduated from high school, and he made the announcement to the brothers. He said, I'm going over to Wilmer to school. He said, I'm going for 1.5 years, and then make no bones about it, I'm coming back.
Up next.
For me to come up with a system and to make it work was huge, because that fit right into our genetic program.
One Schiefelbein innovation is benefiting the entire American beef industry. That story is after the break on The American Rancher.
If you're in the stocker business, you know exceptional care and good nutrition are the keys to healthy, profitable cattle. The Gain Smart Stocker program provides all the tools you need to minimize stress at receiving, stimulate appetite quickly, and create efficient gains on forage or feed. Plus, feeding Gain Smart makes your cattle eligible for Superior's first ever value-added nutrition program. Learn more about the Gain Smart Stocker program and find a dealer near you at gainsmart.com.
At 44 Farms, we believe work starts at sunup and doesn't stop until sundown.
We believe in order to live off the land, you have to love and respect it. We believe that cattle aren't just raised, they're nurtured. And we believe when you do things right, with honesty and integrity, well, things like quality and consistency happen naturally. 44 Farm Steaks, responsibly raised all-natural beef.
Superior Livestock Auction connects producers to buyers across the U.S. through the largest cattle merchandising network in North America.
They're seen by probably pretty much every person buying cattle in the U.S. They pretty much establish the price.
Our customers have a way to purchase bulls without having to physically be at the sale. Because our sale's the second Saturday in February, you never know what the weather might be in the Texas Panhandle.
In 2017, we sold nearly 1.5 million head for top dollar.
When you watch the Superior sale, it seems like that they do bring a premium.
We are several $100,000 ahead of where we would be if we didn't have Superior.
They have done such an extraordinary job in helping us market our program throughout the United States.
Your paycheck is Superior's #1 priority, which is why more producers trust Superior. Call us or go online to learn how to sell your cattle the Superior way.